Hello and welcome to League of Loggers. This is episode, I don't know.
I just said it.
Did
19.
you? 19. It's episode 19. You did just say that. I heard the number.
I heard the number. I didn't hear the episode.
Yeah.
I was like 19.
So this week we are discussing week 3 of the LCS. We have good, bad, the ugly, a little bit of everything in between that happened this week. And are we just going to go right into Optic right now?
Yeah, if you want to do intros, we can do intros.
Oh yeah, intros. I forgot who we were.
You do that like 20% of the time anymore. It's kind of random. I love it.
We've been here for so long that I just assume everyone knows who we are.
Nah.
We need to get those nameplate thingies on here too.
Nah.
We'll get it one day soon, I hope.
Not
All right. Anyway, Viking Redbeard, also known as Chase. We've got Stormy, aka Heather, and then we've got Kurtis James, Kurtles, K to the Erdles, also known as Kurtis.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. And you know what? Let's start with the team that did have the only undefeated record heading into week 3. Team Optic. It was a surprise that they were 4-0. They head into this week, as we discussed last week, they had their next 3 games facing the top 3 from last year, or last split. Cloud9, Team Liquid this week, and TSM next week. And they went 0-2. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a terribly surprising result, but it isn't necessarily expected either.
No.
My question is, they went 0-2, but was it bad that they went 0-2?
Well, I mean, we talked about this last week. I mean, they came into this week knowing that they had to play Cloud9 and Team Liquid. And if you're following how those teams are doing, they're generally performing a little bit better than Optic. Not to say that Optic hasn't had like a really great start of things, but kind of who they've been playing a little bit, kind of played into their 4-0 early start here. So I definitely thought this was expected. I mean, it would have been nice if they could have kept like the hype train going and maybe upset one of those two teams. But they came in, they played. They didn't play as poorly as they could have. They just weren't able to secure wins.
Right. Heather, thoughts on Optic?
Same.
You picked them as your pony for the next 2 weeks.
I completely regret it giving what they're up against, but it's okay. I was going for the
It's okay. I like
overdog, underdog. I'm kind of because like they're on top, but they really shouldn't be. I think that they played all right. I definitely think that against C9 they had some missteps, which led to C9 winning when at one point Optic had the lead. So I'm not sure we can say they're down now because when they played against TL, they gave TL, refresh my memory, they gave TL a run for their money, right?
No, and honestly, they actually gave both Cloud9 and TL a pretty good game. I think they looked all right against Cloud9. Mm-hmm. They looked really good against TL. Honestly, that's more so the root of my question than anything when I was preparing for today's episode, was that Optic went 0-2. And it was against teams that if you didn't know how the first 2 weeks went, you would have assumed, yeah, they'll go 0-2. But they looked really good in these games overall. Like, Cloud9 did seem to have control of the game from beginning to end for the most part. But Team Liquid was this close to losing that game for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Optic showed that they are the real deal. That, as it currently stands, they're definitely a top 5 team in the LCS, and they could be as good as top 3.
I'm hoping to see it happen, just because.
I mean, because we've seen other teams falter. I mean, TL's lost to Echo Fox and CLG. TSM lost to FlyQuest and Team Liquid. Cloud9 has lost to Golden Guardians and TSM. And Optic's lost to Cloud9 and TL. When you look at those other ones, I think Golden Guardians is pretty darn good now, too. We all thought they were top 4 kind of after the first week in this split. And, like, TSM's one of those, stalwart teams. But TSM lost to FlyQuest, who has fallen off this split pretty hard. And TL lost to Echo Fox, who's also not looking great. And CLG, who's okay right now, and we'll get more into that. But out of all those teams, like, Cloud9 and Optic have the least bad losses.
Yeah.
So they might be a top 3 team. It might be, Optic, Cloud9, Liquid or something like that. They might bump TSM. Who knows? Like,
yeah, I mean, the meta's kind of in a weird spot right now. Like, we keep seeing, like, some really random things. Like, we saw Tarek and Sona. They do a little bit of work when it's played well. Not necessarily this week, but just, like, this part of the split so far. And then, like, Pike top just kind of doing terrible for everyone. Yumi's coming in and like she's kind of hit or miss. Like the meta's in kind of like a weird spot right now. It's still kind of maturing. I think this is the last week on the current patch. I think next week is the next patch where Silas apparently gets the nerf bat like just right to his face. But
oh yeah, that's coming.
yeah, I believe it will be live for next week.
Yeah, it's every other week. We should be getting patches.
Sure. So, and it could change again because I mean Silas has been a pretty OP boy here. So if we can, I don't know what we can do. We can just watch and see how the pros kind of keep going. But yeah, the meta's been like just in some crazy constant flux here. So
yeah, honestly, I think one of the nice things we've seen in this meta is that we've seen the flux that you're talking about, where we've seen some pocket picks come out and some, I don't know, unexpected champions, I guess, or just ones we don't see all the time.
Yeah.
But we do still have those massive power picks right now, where it is Silas, Yumi, the Terexona line being banned out. Like, those need to get batted down a bit more. Like you said, we are seeing the Silas changes come in here in a moment for pro play, and hopefully that'll help open up the meta a bit further, but you never know. I'm going to go ahead and jump down the list here. We're going to go from Optic going 0-2. And what that caused them to go from 4-0 to 4-2. We also saw 5 other teams end the week at 4-2. They are Cloud9, CLG, Optic, Golden Guardians, Team Liquid, and TSM. All 6 of those teams are currently tied for first. Are they really tied for first, or are they all tied for 6th?
I think they're all tied for they just want to make playoffs right now. So
Tied for let's be in the first 6 anyways.
yeah.
Keep it there.
I don't know. I mean, they're obviously all tied for first in my mind because, I mean, that means my boys are number 1 team right now, just sharing the spotlight with 5 other people. But, yeah, no, this is very weird. I don't know that I've seen a 6-way first place split since I've started doing loggers.
I don't think it's happened.
This is very
Like, because even in week 1, you end up with 5 teams in first, or like after day 1, you have 5 in first and 5 in last.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to get 6 is not common.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, it's a little bit more difficult for those numbers to work out.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I look at it from the viewpoint of all these teams are tied for 6th. And I say that because no one has separated themselves in a good way. Optic was doing very well, and they dropped in 0-2. If they picked up one of these games, I think it would be very obvious that they might be the best team in the league right now. Had they beaten either Cloud9 or TL. Mm-hmm. You know, you would look at that and say, okay, well, they beat Clutch, 100, CLG, FlyQuest, whatever. Losing to Cloud9 and TL, it's like, okay, maybe you just beat everybody who's worse than you
They just had the
and lose
easier
everybody
start.
who's
That's
better
really
than you.
what-
Yeah, you might have that. But then I look at, you know, like I already mentioned, Cloud9 lost to Golden Guardians TSM. TL lost to Fox and CLG. And then TSM lost to TL and FlyQuest. And then CLG lost to TSM and Optic. Like, all these teams have traded a little bit in there. And it's just like, okay, I don't know what to think other than all of you have lost games that you shouldn't have in a way that helped all these other teams be tied with you. And, like, I'm saying that distinctly about Cloud9, TL, TSM, and Golden Guardians. I think those 4 teams should probably have a game on everyone else.
Yeah.
And yet they don't because of, you know, choking. Oh,
I
I
mean,
skipped over Golden Guardians there. Lost to Clutch and CLG. Oh.
I mean, TL could very easily be undefeated again at this point, but they dropped to Fox and CLG.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean everyone that's lost games, like you said, they should not have lost these games.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on with that because some of the times that they're losing, it's just like, really?
Yeah.
Like they didn't play very well. You just managed to play worse. So, yeah, I don't know. The meta, the state of this split right now, it's just very bizarre to me. It is just chaos.
It really is. I mean, I have to agree. It's hard to articulate because I've only watched this first split of spring and summer split for LCS in general, and the first split seemed so different when it came down to it, especially in the first few weeks when things were getting sorted out. But then we had a clear, like, first, second, third, and fourth place for most of spring split.
What 1, 2, 3, yeah, and then FlyQuest, I guess, seemed pretty solid
yeah.
fourth, yeah.
And so now it's just like, what's gonna happen? It should shake out in the next couple weeks,
right?
But even still, it could kind of stay tied for quite a while.
And over the next 3 games, we will have completed the first round robin, which does tell us a lot. When you have those 9 games where you faced everybody in the league once, that, then you get rid of that argument of, well, who haven't you faced yet, Oh, you haven't faced the easy ones? Of course your record's bad. Oh, you haven't faced the hard ones? Of course your record's good. Yeah. So, that does shake out over these next 3 games, especially next week, because, we'll only have 1 left
and
after that.
And I really feel like that's going to happen for Optic, who had that easy start of 4-0.
I want to go ahead and jump quick to the chat. We had Slippy say, I think Cloud9 is tied for first with TL. I don't think anybody's going to be mad about that. You could argue it. However, I think that where we will all probably come in, he goes, then TSM, CLG, Optic, and then Golden Guardians. I don't know that I could possibly say CLG is over any... if you go that tied top 6, I don't see CLG as being better than any of those other 5. Their wins are over 100 Thieves, TL, Fox, Golden Guardians. They have the head-to-head over Golden Guardians, but I feel like they choked that game out real hard. I feel like...
That was really disappointing to watch.
Yeah.
It was real disappointing because CLG looked bad.
Right. And maybe it's my bias against CLG because of what I've seen them do over the past, year and a half. 3 splits, they've been pretty hot garbage. Mm. But I just don't believe they're a good team still. Right now, I am not convinced they are maybe a playoff team. If they're lucky, they will end 6th, is how I feel about that team right now.
Okay.
I don't know, how do you guys feel about CLG? Because I saw that with Slippy's comment that he had CLG along with TSM and Optic and Golden Guardians below. And I feel like Golden Guardians is possibly the number 4 team in the league. They're probably 5 right now just because Optic is off to such a good start.
I don't know. I see where Slippy's coming from, considering Golden Guardians will be up against TL and TSM, and it's likely they won't pick up a win next week. I have money on both those other 2 teams being better at mechanics, better at playstyles, and better in the lanes. But I like CLG. I like Wiggly. I like this
which teams do you think are better, you said? You said those 2 teams. You're referring to...
Well, I'm just
TL
saying
and TSM
TL
over
and TSM
Golden
over
Guardians.
Golden Guardians.
Right. Well, which, he had put TL up above.
She's just talking about next week's match.
Oh,
and
then
gotcha. CLG only has Fly and C9, so they probably may pick up a win against Fly, but will drop to C9, which puts them right at that 3rd and 4th place spot. Okay.
And I feel like CLG's been getting more put together. They have improved as the weeks have gone on.
They really have.
But... I just still don't think they're as good as Golden Guardian. Even though they won the head-to-head, and I feel the same way about TSM Cloud9, actually. Because TSM won the head-to-head this past week against Cloud9, but it was hard Bjergsen carry.
It was, yes. It was
we were talking about this pre-show at the Baron Pit. Cloud9 hard won a fight that they had really no business winning. And I hated the draft for Cloud9.
Yeah.
I mentioned it immediately in the chat. You draft double AD solo laners with a Varus bot lane... And they have a Poppy. What the fuck? Yeah, you're gonna lose. If you don't crush that game out, the Poppy will eventually become nigh unkillable. And she did. Oh, you also have dashes all over the place. Yasuo, Akali, of course, or it was Akali Aurelia. It was Aurelia up top for Licorice. Those characters dash a ton. Poppy's just gonna tell you to fuck off.
I really thought that was a good move.
Even the Braum and the Gragas. The only person who didn't have a dash was the Varus. And the dash is super important to all of those kits. Yeah. It was just so if it's a Graves, it's okay, that dash isn't super important to his kit.
Tell me, if Poppy's got the ring around her, you can't dash in. Yep. But Yasuo can send out his little wind thing to knock you up. When he goes in on the ult, does he block?
I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting.
I believe it's considered a blink, but it's animated like a dash.
Interesting.
I don't know for sure. So. However, well, no, yeah, because CC doesn't end her little thing around her, so I don't know. I really don't know that one. But yeah,
it was a good pick. Let's just put it that way. And that freaking flash top on the turret, when Poppy flashed and then.
Oh yeah, no. He played that so well into Licorice. I respect Broken Blades play that game. He did very good. I didn't like the draft from Cloud9. And Bjergsen, in that fight that I was talking about, he got a triple kill that he should have only gotten one, like, if Cloud9 played better.
I think they
and Bjergsen
underestimated
didn't
him.
play perfect, which he did. He's amazing.
They underestimated that.
Yeah.
Him in that play. They
Yeah.
really didn't think they'd
And
have
like,
to give it
if they
everything.
kill
They
Bjergsen
did.
there and only give up one instead of a triple, they have a 4v2 and take Baron. Like, and that game's probably not over then, but that probably is enough snowball that you just wombo the rest of the game. But I got off topic because I was talking about CLG against Golden Guardians, and I feel the same way about that match. Like, Ruin's good for CLG, but he also spends, like, time being and it's just him carrying CLG long enough that maybe Stixay and Biofrost get something done.
Yeah.
And, like, Power of Evil can, like, find his points of power. And I've liked things Wiggly's doing, but when you go lane by lane, okay, I like Ruin as he's, meshed with the team over Hanser, but Wiggly Contracts, I feel like Contracts has been really good so far this split. Froggen, Power of Evil, I think Froggen's way more consistently really good. And I've liked his Aurelia as well. And they're doing the lane swapping shit, and it was working just fine. And then bot lane, I'm going to take Deftly. I want to see him, with the Ole on, doing something better than Kench. Like, Kench is the only thing he does. But I will take Deftly over Stixay, because Stixay, there's too many times where he just disappears in a game. If they're not doing well, he just disappears, and he's a non-existent AD carry, it feels like. Whereas Deftly's always doing something.
So, can we talk about the Hanser and...
Ruin? Or what?
No, I was just talking about the lane swap. Like, it wasn't they started
Hanser
the
and
game.
Froggen swapping.
Yeah, it wasn't that they started the game, swapped. Like, they swapped.
Didn't they? Or was that a different game?
No. Like, I mean, they didn't swap after the game started. Like, it was a hard, they swapped places, in the picks. So, on the side, it tells you, top, jungle, mid.
Yeah.
Hanser was in the mid position.
No, they did that during the game. They swapped
they
them.
do.
Oh,
They swap in
Yeah,
the scoreboard, so that way when you look at the top of the scoreboard, it's who's in the top lane.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it wasn't during pick bans.
Okay.
They'll do that. Like, sometimes you'll
I
notice,
guess I've never
one's the
seen them,
top lane or mid
swap
lane,
it,
yeah.
after matches
That's happened a
started.
couple times.
Yeah, no, they can shift around the scoreboard, because nobody lane swaps anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay,
they
so
can
I
move
guess
them
I
around.
guess I wasn't paying attention right at the beginning. Then I was like, Hanser, go away! Stop being in mid.
Yeah.
And then I looked over. I was like, oh, he's supposed to be here according to where he's positioned on the map, or positioned in the.
Yeah, it's
the player
definitely,
list.
it was a matchup thing that they kept forcing.
Okay.
For that specific game, I didn't like Hanser's Nico. Again, I'm not big on Nico in general, because she's real hit or miss, and if you do run her, you need to run her AP, and you need to land your Pop Blossoms, which a lot of people miss in LCS.
Yeah.
It's like it goes Varus Nico now. But I think Hanser should be on a little bit more of a tankier bruiser type champ. Maybe that would have changed that entire game for them. I'm not sure. It's too late to tell. Can't go back. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, they're pretty even. It'll be interesting to see which team plays better in the next week.
Yeah, I mean, we're like I said, over the next 3 games, we should be getting some positions to shake out. If it doesn't, it's going to be a really interesting back half of the split. If there's not separation, it becomes panic time for a lot of the teams that expect to be at the front of the pack. And if you just look at the way last split ended, with TL taking first, TSM in second, and then technically Cloud9 and FlyQuest tie for third, fourth, because they didn't do a constellation anymore. So you're looking towards Worlds at this point. That's what these teams are doing. And you have, whoever wins goes on. Then whoever gets the second most points goes on. So for TL or TSM, they're trying to get that first round bye so that it's so much easier to get to finals, because even if you get second, you're probably going to Worlds. If you get second and the other team is in the finals with you, guess what? You're going to Worlds. If you get second and the other team's in third, fourth, you're going to Worlds because you're going to have more points than them. That's all it comes down to there. And so somebody like Cloud9 definitely wants a spot 2 to get above. And then all these other teams, these other 5 teams, or I'm sorry, 4 teams, 3 teams? 3 teams. Yeah, 3 and 3. There we go. Math. These other 3 teams, they're looking at it as this is their golden opportunity. Because if they can get themselves a first, they don't have to do a first round, and in the second round, maybe they get the lucky side and they don't have to face a TL, TSM, Cloud9. Golden Guardians gets a bye and they face CLG kind of thing. you're happy. You're so happy if you can pull that off. Because, like, oh, CLG and Optic played in the first round, and, like, they go on. Like, at that point, you're feeling like you have the easiest road to finals possible, and, like, maybe you get, you know, to go on to Worlds, because you happen to win. Like, all you gotta do is win those 2 best-of-5s. And
That's harder than it seems with
Yeah.
LCS, apparently.
if
You get best-of-5s and reverse sweeps and
yeah,
stuff.
if we don't see separation in the next 3 games, it's going to be a mad dash to the finish over the following 4 weeks. Like, it's crazy.
And it's already fun to watch this split. It has been almost maybe even more so than the first split.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well,
I want to complain about that game for just one more second.
which game?
The Golden Guardians game.
Oh yeah,
on day 2.
for
Like there was a one point where the enemy Rise had half as much CS. Like it was like 20-40. I was just like, and you still lost. Like CLG was just playing like garbage that whole game, and like Golden Guardians didn't look especially great, but they had like a few moments where I was like, okay, they're playing as a team. This is very cohesive. And then they weren't, and then they lost. I was like, oh, okay, we just lost one big fight, and that was a game. That really sucks.
Yeah. So, quick hit, because it's coming up in the chat. TL, they did go 2-0 this week. They had gone 1-1, beat TSM, lost to Echo Fox. Beat 100 Thieves, lost to CLG. And this week they beat FlyQuest and beat the team that was good, Optic.
we say good, but I mean,
Right.
they just hadn't played TL yet. That's all. They just hadn't gotten
They
there.
played TL super close,
They
though.
did, they
and they
did.
played Cloud9 well. I think it's
Mm.
I think it's insincere to say that Optic isn't good. Are
No.
they one of the best? I think that's too early.
Yeah.
But are they good? They're good.
Yeah.
Right?
They're playing much better than they did last split, especially now
I-
that they've got their team a little bit more.
Yeah. I think their weak
practiced
point is still
together.
definitely Dokla off of a tank and Big when he like gets ahead of himself.
Big when he's better. Good.
Well, like no, he plays well, but I'm
He's
saying their
been
weak
doing a
point
lot
is
better,
Big when he
yeah.
gets ahead of himself and he
Oh,
goes
you mean, like,
out
if he
into shit that he
misplays,
shouldn't.
yeah.
He's like, oh, let's take
Overstep.
this fight, and it's like, no. And Dokla, when he's not on
Yeah.
a tank, it's always a danger. I mean, we saw a fucking fight where he escaped near Drake, and he was in the tri-brush and he was recalling. I don't think he had gotten revealed, but he sees, like, the other team, like, one person had lived with, like, low health, and he had 2 other, like, full health people with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Dokla was like, I'm gonna go in on this. I'm totally gonna get... No, you're not gonna get that kill. Even if you get that kill, you're not gonna live. Just finish your recall and
Yeah.
live, you dipshit.
That was like the 1v4 or whatever that happened.
He went 1v3 after a battle
1v3,
near Drake, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, the trade kill's not worth it there.
Mm-mm.
Like, because, like, if you have a chance to get in and get out, great. You don't. You
Yeah.
don't have that chance here. Like, it's little shit like that I see those mistakes, and it's going to keep Optic from being, like, great. They need to
Again, all I
replace
see
Optic.
is
Or, Dokla.
I see Clutch,
Yeah.
I see 100 Thieves, I see CLG, and I see FlyQuest. And then I see the 2 games that really would have mattered. Like, if they would have taken a game from Cloud9 or TL, I'd been like, okay.
It would have been real deal.
Yeah, right now, I still think they just had, like, a breezy, like, first 2 weeks. If they can show up for the TSM game next week, I'll come back next week and I'll be like, sorry guys, I fucked up. But until then, I still think that they just got lucky with their first 3-week draft, or with their first 3 weeks, and
2 weeks.
Yeah.
that's what I said. And I just think it's going to be a shit show from here on out. Optics is going to do Optic things, and they're going to just poop themselves the rest of the split.
It freaking
Could
could
be.
happen. They could drop all 3 next games.
And you
then
know what?
be right
Speaking
down
of
the bottom
shitting
barrel.
yourself, we said we wouldn't talk about them until they won a game. They swapped up the roster. I thought to myself, shit, how do we not mention it if they still don't win a game? But then they come through and they beat Echo Fox on Sunday. 100 Thieves breaks the longest losing streak in LCS history.
Yeah. Good for them.
And they are now 1-5.
Good for them. Moo, you landed some hooks. You did so much better this game. I'm
Could
proud
do
of
much
you.
worse.
I mean, I guess it was only, uphill from there, so good job.
I just don't get how Fox can beat TL and lose to every single one else that they've played against.
Yep.
I
was
guess
excited
100
about that, too.
Thieves are probably like thinking they're lucky stars, or I guess they're just thinking Echo Fox right now. But this was just piss poor.
Yeah. To be a little fair to Fox, considering they've beat TL but lost to everyone else, they still have FlyQuest and Clutch on their upcoming matches. Whereas 100 Thieves has Cloud9, FlyQuest, and TSM. So they have FlyQuest to face. They both have FlyQuest. And Fox also has Clutch. So if they beat Clutch, then okay, they're still better by 100 Thieves by a game.
By a game.
Yeah.
I'm real surprised that Fox dropped that game, especially since their draft was decent. Both drafts were decent.
Mm-hmm.
But that Skarner pick, man, that Skarner pick is dangerous with a Silas and an Akali both on the team.
Well, if I recall, Fox didn't buy their QSSs like until super late, right?
They were fairly delayed.
So like they didn't pay the Skarner tax, and they got dunked on.
Had Skarner.
Oh, Fox had
Skarner.
Sorry, never mind.
Yeah. That's why I was real surprised that they dropped that
never
game.
mind.
Like, Skarner's OP.
Yeah.
And Rush on Skarner has proven to be good. Solo did actually pretty well in that game.
Solo is the bright spot on that team as a whole. I feel like Phoenix underperformed that game, unfortunately. And you know what? And I've got to be a little fair to Afromu. This split, he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been good. He hasn't been good. But like last split, what we saw was a complete shit show in the bot lane.
Yeah.
Game after game from Afromu. This split, he's doing okay. You think everyone has safe out. But yeah. I just and I wholly disagree with Slippy that as long as Moo is on a hook champ, they win. I'm sorry, they have won one game in their past 16? 2 games in their past 20-some?
Afro who?
Exactly. Don't act like he's some god hook champ. He was never even a big hook champ player. He played some good Thresh, but he was an Alistar, Rakan, no. If you're talking Hakuo with, Thresh and Morgana, okay, yeah. Afro has some Blitz way in the past, no. Afro Moo on a hook champ is what won it. No, it wasn't. It was a whole team thing. Afro hasn't been garbage this split.
Fox just threw harder than 100 Thieves did. That's all that happened.
Yeah. I have to say, it's so... it's almost hurtful to see that following that game, Bang was so relieved. And to see somebody who's a world fucking champion have to be relieved after beating Echo Fox so that he's not continuing to be and whatever the fuck recently. That just sucks.
He better be making some primo cash to be here just getting shit on by everyone else. Because that's gotta be really freaking demoralizing.
Oh yeah.
That,
I feel bad.
That's Hooney levels of demoralizing.
Not even that bad. Because Hooney showed up.
Yeah, and Hooney's finally learning how to play the game again. But no, I feel more bad for Bang than I do basically anyone else that's imported this split.
Yeah. I think honestly 100 Thieves, them getting amazing is so important. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate on Onda the way a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But
I liked Onda.
Amazing's what's turning this team around right now. His effort is so obvious. He is showing up on the Rift everywhere he needs to be, and he's making an effort. Even if it doesn't work out, which has still, lost them games, like the games against Golden Guardians and Clutch, where they seemed like they had a chance. Mm-hmm. It was both because of Amazing's play that they had a chance, and because some of those plays didn't work out that they lost. And I feel like if that team can coalesce around Amazing and play up to his level, they'll get some more wins. Do I think they're going to make playoffs? God, no.
No.
They're too far behind.
Yeah.
They would have to go on an incredible run, and I don't think this team has the pieces to make it happen.
No.
They did the switch, and we didn't even talk about here. They had Fake God in the top lane.
Yeah, we talked about it 3 minutes
before the
before.
show.
Yeah.
They did some substitutions, which I mentioned just kind of in my preamble here. But they had Fake God in for somebody in the top lane, and Fake God looked fine. He played pretty well. And they had Ryu in the mid lane. Ryu had some good and some bad, and when it comes down to it, I don't think Ryu is better than Saligo still. People on the LCS caster desk disagree with me. They thought Ryu looked real good and that he's definitely better than Saligo. I'm not sold on it. I've seen too much bad Ryu to think that these 2 games are what we're going to see out of him game after game. I've seen Ryu fucking just feed his ass off on this team just last split, and you're going to tell me that he's better than Saligo? There's a reason he was benched for Saligo at the end of last split.
He wasn't even playing.
Yeah, he was. Or was it the split before? I don't know. But he was playing at some point.
It wasn't Ryu, then Saligo.
It was Hui. They replaced Ryu for Hui. That's right. Oh my god.
Hui was.
Yeah, Ryu was replaced for Hui, which I thought was a side grade.
At best.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like,
that's like a
and then
slant grade.
and then you put Saligo in for Hui, and it seemed an improvement. And you're going to tell me now that Ryu back in is an improvement?
Can they run Saligo with Fake God?
They have weird imports.
Yeah, no, they can run. So their imports are Bang, Ryu, and Someday. They can only run 2 of those 3.
Oh, then fucking get out Ryu, put Saligo back in.
And they won't because they won with...
They just won with
yes.
But I don't have Ryu really in my notes. He wasn't that much of a factor of presence in this game. All I have up here is like amazing is good. And you say Fake God was good, but he got soloed by Solo twice.
Do I have to remind you of the miracle run of Cloud9? Okay, Ryu wasn't unmotivated. Ryu was bad. It's like telling me putting Piglet back on the bench, which, by the way, Piglet no longer on Clutch. He is back in Korea.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
he just got
he's gone.
Just got 86th.
It is my guess that when he got put to the bench and it didn't look like he was coming back off the bench, it was a mutual parting of ways and he went back to Korea. That is my guess.
Yeah, but
because he has been in NA for like 4 years trying to make it happen, and nothing's ever worked.
Why not just ride the bench and collect your paycheck like for the next 8 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever, and then go back? Like, I mean, that makes more sense.
Maybe they paid out when they closed out the contract. We don't know what the terms were.
Okay, you're right. That is very possible, and it's probable at this point. I guess.
Yeah, and at that point, if he is planning on not being on Clutch, maybe they worked out a thing where he got part of that check. He can go back to Korea and play solo queue there, and maybe be playing for some teams like subs and whatnot, and get himself back up. I don't know. I have no idea. Piglet hasn't been good since he came to NA.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be like the import curse, is that it's like all the people from like EU or the other regions, like they're washed up in their region and they come here and then they just kind of flounder.
No, but like, okay, Piglet wasn't washed up when he came here. He came here as like a world, I don't know if it was just off his world championship or like a year later. And like, so Piglet came in very good. Bang, like he was still pretty darn good on SKT. And you have players like Impact who have come here and continued to be good. Bjergsen's an import, continued to be good. Jensen never played in the EU, so I'm not going to count him.
Oh,
Niski, he's only ever played NA.
Okay, I have a few people that I am targeting, and I made a blanket statement.
I
am sorry.
He's like,
you called me out of my shit. That works.
I mean, you haven't been watching long enough to see all these old imports.
Yeah.
What you've seen, though, you've seen Power of Evil, who came in and is done okay. You saw Fabevin, who came in and had one good split and did not have a very good follow-up split. You've seen Bang, who has struggled on 100 Thieves. You know of Piglet, who's struggled greatly. Like, you've seen this shit. You know what you're talking about.
My time frame makes sense. Like, my comments for my time frame have been watching make sense, but like there's like 5 years
like
that
the
I'm
recent
before
good
that.
imports are, Core JJ. And Core JJ played in NA previously. He was on Dignitas back in the day as their AD carry, and it did not go well. Yeah.
Core JJ played an ADC? That makes me mad for some reason.
He was ADC in Korea, then NA, then went back to Korea and became a support, and won a world championship, and now he's back in NA as a support. It goes on. Hootie was previously in NA, then went to EU, then back to NA. Like,
Hootie?
Yeah.
I thought he was on...
He was on SKT for a minute, too.
Yeah, he was on SKT, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
also, and then Korea as well.
Let me just tour the world.
Yeah, he's made the tour. Like, we've seen a lot of these players. And Ryu and Someday, like, we've seen a lot. The only recent successes, like you said, Core JJ, Ole, and Ole hit and miss a little bit, and Niski so far.
He's LEC?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think,
I like Niski.
There's one other Amazing coming over just now. I think that's working out so far so good.
I think that's working well.
I mean, we've got one week of, or did he play day 1 or he just played day 2? Amazing.
Oh, he's played everything so far.
He played all of them. He just came in off the plane on day 1, week 1.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
So my brain is.
What's the other jungler? FlyQuest Santorin.
Yeah.
And we've
Where's
seen
he from?
He's European. He played he played in Europe, then on TSM, then back in Europe.
Turkey one.
Oh, Broken Blade in the top
Broken
lane.
Blade,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, like I mean, we've seen some success recently, but we've seen a lot of like big name failures recently too.
I think it goes both ways. Like you're gonna have everything.
It's
You're
been
gonna have people
small
who do
name
well
successes
and
outside of
others.
Court JJ. Like he's the only big name who's like super succeeded recently because like Niski was not a big name coming over. You know,
He's
Straight
still.
like
I
that.
wouldn't say Niski is still a big name, but he's doing all right.
Yeah.
On some
And
things.
we're
Maybe not
still
that,
waiting to
Yasuo
see.
all the time.
And actually, we can count in big name failures coming over. Is Ven and Mithy their first split when they played together? It was not good.
Yeah.
Like they went from kings of EU, like possibly best bot lane in the world, or his best bot lane in the West was like guaranteed, and they came over and they just got their shit kicked in. It was not good. Who's the support FlyQuest picked up and we haven't seen him play
We
yet?
did. But
Yeah,
LEC,
we did.
I think. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
he
to
came
see
from
that.
LEC, but he is Korean.
Ah, cool. Things I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I met another Asian that's from Canada. He plays Final Fantasy 14. I was like, you're like double lift, but on chat, this person's like really nice.
So he's
He's
the
like
opposite of
Canadian.
double lift?
We called him double nice instead.
Wait, if he's Canadian, he's not double lift, he's Wild Turtle.
There you go. All right.
Because Wild Turtle's
Yeah.
Asian and Canadian.
So isn't double lift?
No, he's from New York.
What? I
Was
thought
it
Double
New
Lift
York
was
or
Canadian
California?
This entire time.
All I
No,
know is
Double
I
Lift
think
is not
you're
Canadian.
What the fuck was I thinking? I'm like thinking like
know.
a Justin Bieber as like Asian over
No,
here.
Biofrost and
Yes.
Wild Turtle.
That's it.
Got her thinking all Asian.
Well,
are
they're
from
not
Canada.
the only Canadians, but they're both
Yeah.
Asian and Canadian.
Okay. Wow, I was really wrong. No wonder Double is so douchey. He's not
Alright.
Canadian.
So, any other thoughts on 100 Thieves? Are they going to get more wins? Is this the start of something? Because I
It's
see
the
them.
start of something beautiful.
I see them pulling an old school Golden Guardians and picking up maybe like another 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Total.
I agree with that. So
Less-
we don't
I
have to talk about
say-
them until they win, right? More games.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to talk about them again until they win again.
I mean, I see them maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. Picking up maybe 3 or 4 more games total. Like I don't see them. I don't see them leaving 10th place.
Yeah, no, if they leave 10th place, it's only because they beat FlyQuest this week, and Echo Fox loses to Clutch, and then Echo Fox beats FlyQuest next week, and they go back to being tied. So they can get to
Yeah,
like
Tiger
9th
Claw
for
said it
a
anyway.
week. Alright, well, we've gone through those. We've talked a little bit about game. Do you guys have any other
I
specific
agree
topics?
with Tiger Claw, is what he said.
Yeah. That Niski's Yasuo won Cloud9's game against Optic?
Yeah.
I really like that combo.
But
the
his-
Gragas Yasuo combo is cool.
But
I
it
enjoy
failed
it.
in the TSM match.
There's some misplays from Sven Skaren.
But again, they had the
and-
Poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of little ones. Like, Sven Skaren, they're coming from the brush, Smoothie's on the null as he's walking towards Drake, and he throws his ult entirely behind him. Like, he thought he was going to turn around, but there's still no reason to not throw the ult just on the person.
Yeah.
So he misses him, which means he doesn't have to flash. So then when he goes for the body slam, then Smoothie flashes and the entire engage is over. Like, little things like that. Oh, you get that pick, then you, like, maybe get Dragon off of that because there's not a Nautilus anymore. Like, there's little things like that all through that game where TSM was like, this close. Or, or Cloud9 was this close to, like, doing something and then failed.
Yeah.
And like I said, I complained about their draft. I do like that combo, though.
Yeah.
The Yasuo with Gragas. I just think you need to bring like an Akali in the top lane, like they did in game 1, and not an Aurelia like they did in
Well,
game 2.
They
The
did
Nautilus
actually,
was like
so.
behind like 2 levels at one point, right?
I mean, support the other behind the other support or behind the map, because
The map.
I mean
They're
that's
usually
common.
like 4 levels behind.
Yeah, supports vary anywhere from 2 to 4 levels behind.
Okay, because there was a point like the commentators were talking about like, oh, he's 2 whole levels behind such and so, and like he's a real squishy Nautilus right now. I don't recall if it was this particular match, but I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, I mean, if it was against Cloud9, it was that match because there was not a Nautilus in the other one. So, but I don't know. I do agree also with Tiger Claw that Yasuo set up most of his own shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Gragas, the pressure you get from the Gragas helped with that. Because you can't play in certain areas because the threat that a Gragas brings with barrel and body slam and shit. But yeah, no, Niski's Yasuo is very good. I like it. But yeah, as much as I hate Yasuo, he's probably the funnest champ.
I know, right?
All right, let's do a quick update. We started Pick Your Pony last week.
Mm-hmm.
Each of us picked one team over the next 2 weeks, and the loser has to buy the table burgers and fries. Or was it just fries?
It's gonna be
fries.
food, basically.
I think it was like dollar menu, like McDoubles.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and fries.
it was like McDoubles and fries. Yeah, that's what it was. It was good shit.
It's supposed to be like $2 to $3, like a person.
Yeah, exactly. So we had Heather picking Optic. So she bought high and is now feeling low.
Yeah.
So with their 0-2, Chase picked Golden Guardians, pulling a 1-1 after dropping that game to CLG and beating 100 Thieves. I mean, that's about the weakest 1-1 a team could possibly have, it feels like.
Yeah.
And I had Cloud9 also pulling a 1-1, beating Optic and losing to TSM. I feel better about that 1-1, but I'm still not happy about it.
Yeah.
So if we look into next week, let's look at Heather's first, because she needs at least one win. 2 if she wants to like win outright.
Yeah.
Or to
or even tie, because you guys are probably
like if we pick up a win,
one.
like you have to get both.
At least one.
So Optic has TSM.
Yeah.
So
which I really think
that's
going
to be a close game. And then Echo Fox.
I think they might beat Fox.
Yeah, they should be able to beat Fox.
It's in the realm of possible.
Yeah.
I mean, Fox is kind of floundering right now, so...
Yeah, I mean, Fox has only beat Team Liquid, and that was on day 2 of the split. Okay, then we'll move on to Chase's Golden Guardians. TL and TSM this week.
Not looking so great, but it's possible. It could happen.
I mean, I put this week for Golden Guardians the same as I did Optic last week against Cloud9 and TL. If you win one of these games and look good in the other one, you're the real fucking deal. Like, they've lost to Clutch and they've lost to CLG, and I feel both of those games Golden Guardians fucked up in. It wasn't that they got like straight up outplayed. They just did not make the right plays to make it happen. Especially the Clutch game. The Clutch game, they threw that game away. Mm-hmm. So if they can beat TSM and play TL close or vice versa, Golden Guardians is definitely a good team. Yeah. Definitely better than CLG. And Cloud9, I'm just gonna keep doing that at Slippy. It's all good.
You just need
he said he believes CLG will finish ahead of Optic, I think he said, or Golden Guardians. He said Optic or Golden Guardians. He thinks CLG will finish
CLG might
higher
than
in the split.
Optic, but maybe not Golden Guardians.
I don't know.
I think
don't think Optic is bad.
Really freaking easy first few weeks.
They played TL so fucking close.
Yes, but a lot of teams also have given TL a run for their money, and TL still won them. Like, it's TL.
Right. But those other teams also haven't won 4 games.
True. This is true.
Hell, TL's only won 4 games. Nobody's won more than 4 games.
I mean, Fox's only win is against Team Liquid.
Right.
The hell
Team
does
Liquid,
that work?
Week 1, TL should have been. This was the first week I think TL actually looked like a decent team. I will say that, because they looked so scattered in week 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like, they would be here and then here. Like, it was not
They had
good.
Leads.
And this week, they were here and here. Like, they were good both games. And then finally, though, Cloud9 have 100 Thieves in CLG.
Congrats on your win.
Oh, my boy should be able to bring this home. If they fucking 0-2...
if 100 Thieves beats Cloud9...
If they go 0-2, I'm just not showing up. I will let Heather do the
happens.
show solo next week.
Oh my god.
No, actually, to be fair, we won't find out these results before next week, because it is Rift Rivals.
So Rift Rivals is next weekend?
Rift Rivals is this weekend.
So we're not even doing a week 4?
Well, no, we will after Rift Rivals. So it was week 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Rift Rivals, then week 4.
So week 4 isn't this coming up week?
No, it is Rift Rivals.
Oh, well, then I don't even care that I'm missing next week.
Well, can we just not do a shit?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be
I don't know
Florida.
anything about Rift
So
Rivals.
Rift Rivals is the top 3 from LEC
I
and
remember you saying this.
LCS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to see
aware.
G2, Fnatic, and Origin
That'll be fun.
heading off against TL, TSM, and Cloud9.
But it means nothing.
We're gonna see LEC just straight up crush
Cracking race between
LCS.
NA and EU means nothing my ass.
Not after what happened at MSI.
So here's the question. Rift Rivals. I think it's very obvious G2's the best team of these 6.
It's not even Rift Rivals, it's G2 Rivals, because G2 is just gonna fucking put
That's
Fnatic...
not the way the format works.
They're
You don't
just gonna-
play your own teams.
No, I understand. I'm saying they're gonna put the Fnatic and Origin on their back. And
Not the way the format works. They can't win all the games for them.
No, they're going to.
But they can't. They're not allowed. So, anyway, I think it's very obvious G2's the best team of these 6.
Yeah.
However, I don't think the rest of EU is very good right now. We are seeing G2 clown on the rest of the LEC, playing whatever the fuck they feel like, and dominating. Like, we saw the Pyke Yuumi bot from them, and granted, it looked really good. But granted, they could probably play fucking Soraka Gangplank and make it look good, because they're just that much better than everybody else in LEC.
It kind of feels like they just bought the best team in the LEC, and like
they did.
No one else is like, we either A, don't have that kind of money, or there's just not that much talent over there, which is really, really weird to say.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case, that latter one.
It's already
I mean, they bought the best team because they went and got Caps off of Fnatic. They're like, oh, we have the second best mid laner. Let's throw him down bot and get the best mid laner.
That was insanely smart.
And you know what? You guys can say here in the chat, they're like, I think Fnatic and Origin look really good too. You know what? Everybody thought that same thing heading into the LEC playoffs last split, and they both got fucking dumpstered. Origin got dumpstered by Fnatic. Fnatic went 0-3 to G2 twice.
Wow.
Because they had the different format where first and second played each other, and then 3-6 and 4-5 played each other, and the winners of those played each other. So it was Origin versus Fnatic, or I'm sorry, it was G2 versus Fnatic. Fnatic got fucking dumpstered. It was not close. And then they played Origin, who won all that other 4, and they dumpstered Origin. And then they went back to play G2 again and got dumpstered again. Worse! It was the shortest final in EU history. It was disgusting.
So basically G2 has the shortest final in the
Everything.
LEC.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Great job. Good job.
Yeah, because they have the shortest international final by dumpstering TL.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
TL didn't look great in that. But I don't think Fnatic or Origin were going to step up to IG.
Wait. They beat the IG SKT match?
Well, so the LEC final is the fastest. You mean when G2 beat TL in the final?
No,
we talked about that.
Didn't IG dumpster SKT with a 16-minute, 30-second win at MSI?
Oh yeah, that's
right. That single win, series.
Yeah,
series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
No, a full best of 5. It is the fastest full best of 5, which means not only did you 3-0, but you crushed them all 3 games.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I think Fnatic looks better now than they did in Spring Split, but I still don't believe they're that good necessarily.
Well, Fnatic?
Yeah, I think they looked good right up until it fucking mattered last split, and then G2 showed up and they're like, oh no. And I feel like TL looked closer to G2 than Fnatic did, and we saw, and this is where it all comes together, we saw in NA 2 best of 5 series one between Cloud9 and TSM, one between TL and TSM, and I think we can all agree that any one of those teams could have made it. Now, we all agreed at the end of the split that, okay, TL was the best of those 3, but it wasn't by a large margin. Yeah. I think all 3 of those teams are good, and I don't think Origin's good. I don't think they're that good at all.
I don't know anything really about Origin and Fnatic. I know Fnatic was against IG in Worlds.
Yeah.
And then got dumpstered on
yeah.
Worlds.
I mean, we'll see when it comes down to it. I think G2's going to show up and be the best team of this 6 again.
That's Wonder, right?
Yeah, Wonder in the top. Wonder is the most disgusting top laner.
I'm excited to see Wonder again.
I love that everybody was talking about, the shy this, the shy that. It's like, and I said it last Worlds. I was like, Wonder was insanely good. Why are we not talking about Wonder? And yeah.
So next weekend's Rift Rivals will be, and then we'll do the show on Tuesday talking about those matches and how it played out.
Yes.
And then, can you bring up your calendar and your...
Yeah, so the next episode will be on Tuesday. You can tell me Origin's actually pretty good, but there's no basis for that other than they're stomping on the rest of, garbage EU. I'm sorry, but I don't think a team is good because they beat Echo Fox and 100 Thieves right now. They're garbage. Yeah. I'm not like, oh man, Clutch is actually pretty good. No, I didn't talk about Clutch at all today.
No, we didn't.
Because
they
not...
went 1-1, right, this weekend?
Yeah, they went 1. They beat, lost to TSM and they beat FlyQuest. Teams who are beating Clutch, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, and Echo Fox don't give a shit. It doesn't mean anything right now. And that's what I was saying, Optic, I'm talking about how they were good against TL. Because I'm like, that team actually matters. They're worth a shit.
So Tuesday next week and Tuesday the following week. Just to say it. On Tuesday
Jeff,
now.
watching LEC doesn't change the fact that if Origin's beating fucking Excel Esports is trash. I can
Even
see
though
it.
their
That's
name.
great. It doesn't change it.
Excel like
But Kurt,
Excel and Rogue are so bad.
Have you been
I was gonna
watching
say
it
the
though?
spreadsheet program.
You've been watching
Right,
it.
yeah. It's like I can skip 100 Thieves losing to, fucking Golden Guardians and still know that it means nothing that Golden Guardians beat them other than you're not also garbage.
Yay, Golden Guardians, not in the they're in the recycle bin. They're at least helping the planet.
Okay, okay, I'm gonna say this here. Alan, if you're telling me that LEC as a whole is a completely different level than NA, that's complete bullshit. It is. It just fucking is. Because we've seen players from LEC come to NA and not do great. We've seen teams at Worlds match up and not do great. Like, G2, way better than TL. No argument there. But if you're going to look at, like, Worlds last year, it was G2 and Fnatic who were very good. Fnatic doesn't have caps anymore and it has hurt them severely. Nemesis is getting back up there, but he's not caps. He's
Fnatic
not going
was
to be
dumb
caps.
to give up caps,
They
especially.
didn't give him up. His contract was over and he signed with G2.
Well, I mean,
bet
they
gave
could
him
have
a
countered
pretty
him.
penny. Well,
They could have countered to keep him.
And they didn't give him G2 probably offered him more and also like a guaranteed championship.
That's true.
Like when it comes
Can't
down to it, you
guarantee
can't.
a championship, but
It
he
was
got capped.
basically guaranteed looking at that team. Fucking
Yeah.
hell. But yeah, like when it comes down to it, you can't force a player to stay anywhere. It's like LeBron
Yeah, that's
James
true.
going all over the fucking place.
I mean, I would have, if I was Fnatic, I would have fought to keep caps, especially with what he's doing right now in the mid lane. They're freaking wrecking people left and right.
But yeah, I mean, like when it comes down to it, like we've seen so much of EU where they were garbage too, and we have Rift rivals, and back in the day, Battle of the Atlantic. Even if we just look at Worlds this last year, like while what's their name? Not Vitality. Was it Vitality? They've got the B thing going. They were in the group with Cloud9.
can't tell if trolling or not. Excel is probably better than all the LCS teams. Has to be trolling, right?
No, that's total troll.
okay.
Excel is hot garbage.
I was like, gotta be trolling.
Excel and Rogue last split were worse than worse than everybody but 100 Thieves last split.
Wasn't one of those teams? Wasn't it Rogue that like didn't pick up a win until like week 11
So
out of 9?
Week 11, yeah. Yeah, no, they both like won, I think 2-3 games maybe total. It was real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, even 100 Thieves pulled off 4 wins last split. Granted, 3 of them were in the first 3 weeks.
Oh, it's so bad to remember it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So Tuesday for the next 2 weeks, are we doing any bets for Rift Rivals? Just like
No,
saying who's gonna win.
No,
Doesn't
I don't think we have any bets going. I mean, yeah,
No,
you can
I'm not-
say who
I'm
you
not
think.
betting
G2's
shit.
gonna
Not
be
like
the
a real bet, but like,
No.
are we picking winners? Are we
G2's going to be
picking-
the best team there. However, I would have to look at the format to see exactly how it ends
So
out
it's everyone
Okay.
plays best of ones,
against everyone, and
then
then
it's like weird like group.
and
best
then
of
as a
fives.
group, yeah, it's a best of 5. And I think
Yeah,
I think
here's
whoever wins, if it's the same as like last year or
the,
similar.
says relay race best of 5s.
Yeah, so I believe it's the T or the region that gets the better of the all around best of 1s, the round robin, if you will. They get to counter their picks basically to start.
Ooh.
So like, NA would have to say we're gonna play Cloud9 first, and then EU goes fine. They have to play against Fnatic or whatever. And then yeah,
So
and
that
then
means
it's the
G2
first.
can't carry their entire.
No, you could only
Yeah.
play one.
So basically,
Like so, each
NA
team
has a
has
real
to.
good chance.
Yeah, the first 3 games
Yeah.
of the finals portion will be each team playing once, and then if that isn't all won by one region, then like you can double up. But yeah,
So you're going LEC.
At least
I'm
that's how
going
it was
LCS.
previously.
Well, I don't know if you're going.
I'm not going LEC. I just say
Yeah,
G2's the best team. That's all I can say.
G2 best. Let's see. Okay,
I'll
I
pick
think-
the LCS. I'll pick them.
I think the LCS teams have been more inconsistent recently, and that's a detriment.
Yeah.
But I think on average, I mean, because if you look at that format, G2 will pick up a game, and then they'll pick up another one when LEC doesn't 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, if they're not allowed to play again, can Fnatic pick up a game? Which I think they can, because they will play twice,
Okay.
and G2 will play twice. Origin will not win their one game, and they will not be picked to play again.
So.
Whereas
none.
TSM, TL, and Cloud9 can all 3 play 2 games. I have no issues with any of those teams playing 2 games.
Yeah.
So I think it comes down to, can Fnatic win 2 games? Or can Fnatic win a game to cap out G2's?
Cool.
So
I'm
it'll
excited to see
it'll
G2.
go 4 games. It might go 5, just depending on if Fnatic won their first round or not.
Gotcha.
Boom. There you go.
Boom. I'm mad at you now though, because now we have to wait an extra entire week
For French fries?
Yeah, for
All you care about is the French fries.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be the one buying them, but I want to eat them. Yes.
My Golden Guardians could fuck up pretty bad.
They
so.
do have to play TL and TSM.
I know.
So if you can pick up the win over Echo Fox, that's a tie.
So there,
And-
it's coming down to me and him basically.
Oh,
So in that scenario, hold on, if it comes down to that scenario,
Yeah.
you would have a win over Echo Fox, you would have a win over 100 Thieves, and so it would come down to if 100 Thieves beats FlyQuest or Cloud9 or Echo Fox beats Clutch or Optic. It could come down to which team sucks less, Fox or 100 Thieves, and that
Wow.
just seems fantastic. Like to decide a bet, who sucks worse?
CG and 100
Which
Thieves?
of the two teams you did? No, Echo Fox and
Oh,
100 Thieves.
Fox, yeah.
Yeah, which of the two teams that neither of you picked sucks worse?
So wait, if 100 Thieves sucks worse, who wins? Tell me that. Can you?
So
Math that.
if you guys both have the one win,
Yeah.
his being over 100 Thieves, yours being over Echo Fox, and 100 Thieves is the worst team,
Yeah.
you win.
Woohoo! On technicalities, yes.
Well, we all know that 100 Thieves sucks, so I think I'm okay.
Well, if they suck worse, I win.
Oh shit. God damn it. Oh, I'm fucked. I'm gonna be buying French fries and McDoubles for everyone.
Yes. I'll take
Hey.
McChicken.
Alright,
Mixed
well,
chicken.
I don't give a shit. I really don't. I'll eat whatever is brought to me.
100 Thieves is going 2-0, I'm calling it.
Who did I play again?
Cloud9 and Fly.
No, that's not happening. They might pick up a win on Fly.
If they beat
I
Cloud9,
would be
oh,
so surprised.
bench sneaky. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, but I think that does it for us here. Episode
Are
19
we
of
picking
League of Loggers.
Winners for week 5 or no?
Week 4?
Or-
No, because that's not for another 2 weeks.
Well, if he's not going to be here,
He might
then
be.
He might not get his
We'll
picks.
figure it out,
Okay.
but we'll still get picks in.
Well,
Alright.
it won't be
They
here
might not be on
next
air.
week. Like, I'll
I
be
know.
back the week
Yes,
after that. I'll be
yes.
back for week 4.
No.
You'll be back to discuss week 4. She's talking about doing picks on air.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll be around. I
Alright.
can do the
Yeah.
computers.
Yeah, no,
You
on
can be
air,
on
like
at
I
least,
said.
like-
Anyway,
Oh,
You can at least.
anyway, that does it for episode 19 of League of Loggers.
No.
We'll see you guys on Tuesday for Rift Rivals Talk.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yar.
Cheers.